And what about I don't know if it's unspoken, but attention that I see that you have the rights of the accused or the defendant kind of bumping up against the desires for like the moral consciousness of the victims, right? They want to see this person pay, right? And so a technicality in the law or a witness who went to heaven prematurely or something can really get in the way of that victim seeing what they hope ultimately happens to that defendant, and the defendant maybe being very happy that they're not guilty or whatever it is. And you sometimes have to make what we call a plea bargain with the defense counsel and the defense, and the victim's like, no, 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 they can't do probation or only 2 years in jail and then parole. Like, I mean, that's got to be the hardest part in a way, right?
It is difficult, but I think that the key in all of that I have learned over the years is good communication with those victims. Immediately when they're in our office, we have an advocate that reaches out to them. I always have my victims come in to meet with me, and I find out what their expectations are, and then I review the evidence, and then I can kind of talk with them about realistically whether or not those expectations are realistic. In a perfect world, all these people would go to jail for everything that they do, but there's so many issues like you brought up. There may be an evidentiary problem, or their witnesses are missing, or they have been deceased, and we have to figure out how to work around that. We have a large range of punishment on these cases for the most part, and so we sit down with our victims and we talk to them, and we say, here's where we are, and these are the things that we're going to consider when we make that plea offer. I always ask my victims what they want to happen, but we also talk to them about why there may be some sort of compromise to that, and it might not be that, but we do our best to try to make everything fair. You know, but it's also important, and especially as a judge, to make sure it's fair for both sides. I mean, the community wants the defendants to pay, and they absolutely should, but we have the system that we have with all the cogs in the wheel, the defense attorneys, the prosecutors, the judges, to make sure that not only does that victim see justice, but the defendant also gets justice as well.